Hello my fellow gamers and welcome to Philosophy Videos. Today I'll be presenting to you 13 new RTS games which come out in 2020. This video is just one in a whole playlist of videos dedicated to new games coming out next year. In this video you will see new RTS games, while in the others I'll be presenting 4X, turn-based and grand strategy games, as well as simulation management and squad combat turn-based strategy games. The playlist that will contain these videos is at the top right and in the description below. Now let's dive into all these new RTS games you just saw briefly during this intro. First up, my favorite strategy franchise, created by Creative Assembly, Total War Saga Troy. The Total War Saga games started with Thrones of Britannia as a new take on the standard Total War formula. A note here is that The Fall of Samurai was rebranded as Saga in 2019. Total War Saga games are smaller in scope and more focused on specific time and place in history. The newest one focuses on the 20-year conflict in the Bronze Age Mediterranean kingdoms of Troy and Mycenaean Greece, known as the Trojan War. With heroes like Achilles, Odysseus, Paris and Hector, we can expect a combat system similar to Three Kingdoms, where generals are a focal point, although there aren't going to be any gods or monsters in the battles, just some units and heroes named after them. The release date for Total War Saga Troy is 2020. But don't forget, you will be able to see a preview before release on this channel, as I am a verified content creator for Total War games. Now let us move on from the mythical and into fantasy with WARCRAFT III Reforged, which comes out really soon on the 28th of January 2020. This remaster is more than just a graphical update, as not only is the entire gameplay rebalanced, but the game itself is upgraded to today's standards, with modern multiplayer matchmaking, search for custom game lobbies, and the ability to connect with friends through Blizzard's Battle.net app, along with the updated UI and the countless quality of life improvements. The game comes with Region of Chaos and Frozen Throne campaigns and a host of player-created games, including tower defenses, MOBAs, action RPGs, survival games, and more with the upgraded world editor. With 62 missions across Kalimdor, Lordaeron, Northrend, and beyond, you will be able to enjoy 40 plus hours of epic gameplay and up to 4 hours of reforged in-game cutscenes, and we all know that Blizzard's cutscenes are better than most movies. Another classic RTS with base building and unit combat is making a comeback in 2020, with its fourth installment, The Age of Empires. It's a game I've grown up with, and it was the first RTS I ever played on the PC. This time it's made by Relic Entertainment, the creators of the Company of Heroes franchise. Age of Empires 4 is expected to have updated gameplay mechanics, a new kind of campaign mode, and a modernized resource collection system, meanwhile keeping its signature tech tree upgrades and age advancements. We know little so far about the nations in the game because Microsoft is being very tight-lipped with the details. However, we do know that there are going to be Native Americans, British Redcoats, Roman Legionnaires, and Japanese Samurai in this game, which indicates a large time span and very different campaigns. So far we have covered history, mythology and fantasy, so it's time to look at some science fiction games. One of these is Starship Troopers Terran Command, published by Slytherin Limited and developed by the Aristocrats. It's based on the movie franchise, which might be very cringy, but it doesn't lack for good lore and gore to base a fantastic game on. In this game you will take command of the mobile infantry and stand firm in the face of the Arachnid threat, which spans the entire galaxy. The gameplay will be focused on a single planet, with the storyline and missions developing along with the player's choices. You can choose to blindly obey orders from the Terran Command, or break the chain of command following your own rules. Whichever path you choose will determine the options you have to develop and customize your forces, through a detailed technology tree and upgradable leader characters that can be assigned to your units. The game will feature all the bugs from the movies as well as new unique ones, but hopefully only the kinds developers intend to have in the game. Another game set among the stars is Age of Space, by the developer and publisher Podpal Games, although this one is about ship combat. It offers space station building, resource management and tactical combat in 3D. The lore borrows heavily from the Expanse series, as you have a solar system in flames as the Martians and the United Earth Alliance battle for supremacy. The ships you will use in combat have specific weapons and modules, which you have to manage and use to win against enemy fleets. The game offers a single-player campaign as well as a co-op, in which you team up with a friend for especially hard contracts that offer large rewards. These help you unlock new and unknown technologies that you can also salvage from the wrecks of your enemies. With these, you customize and build massive warships from your shipyard. 2020 is going to be a year with more than a few remasters, so we'll see Praetorians HD Remaster and hopefully Command & Conquer, Tiberian Dawn and Red Alert Remasters. Praetorians HD Remaster is expected to be released on the 24th of January 2020. Published by Calypso Media Digital and developed by Taurus Games and Pyro Studios. In case you're not familiar with this original 2003 RTS, it was based on Julius Caesar's campaigns in Gaul, Britain, Crassus's battle in Parthia, and the events of Caesar's civil war. The player's aim is to become the new emperor through a bloody and long campaign, spanning the battlefields of Egypt, Gaul, and Rome's homeland in today's Italy. As you fight your way through the empire, you will engage ever stronger and better trained units of the empire until you finally face the Praetorian Guard, the most powerful and deadly fighting force in the whole empire. As for the Command & Conquer remasters, there isn't a lot of information out there. What is known is that the two games confirmed to be remastered are Tiberian Dawn and the original Red Alert. Both games will remain 2D, while the resolution will go all the way up to 4K. All visuals, sounds and music are going to be faithful to the originals, as the developers explained. Their goal is to only remaster and not remake their iconic and fan favorite franchises. They are bringing back the same voice actors for Tiberian Dawn, while the Red Alert voice actor has passed away, so his old voiceover will be in the game. Once we see the final products, I bet all of you are going to be requesting from the devs that Tesla coils and Apocalypse tanks will get the same 4K treatment alongside Tiberian Sun. Another RTS fan favorite is making a comeback in 2020. Developed and published by Firefly Studios, Stronghold Warlords is going east, far to the east. In Warlords, you take command of the Mongol hordes, Imperial warriors and samurai clansmen, as you lay sieges to Japanese castles and fortify Chinese cities. And I mean really, would it be Stronghold if you weren't breaking down gates and tearing down high walls? New additions to the game are gunpowder-filled siege weapons and AI-controlled warlords that players can employ for their own use. These AI warlords can give orders to build up your industry or armies and even take command of units. They each have unique perks, characteristics and upgradable abilities which help the player's army. Our next game to watch for in 2020 is Iron Harvest, a classic real-time strategy game with a single-player mode made up of 3 campaigns and 20 missions, as well as a multiplayer and co-op. This game is set in the alternate reality of 1920s, just after the end of the Great War, also known as World War I. Since this is alternate reality, or should I say alternate history, the developers from King Art have lost their imagination with giant diesel punk mechs which dwarf regular units on the battlefield. You will get to command 3 diverse factions with over 40 unit types and 9 heroes with unique abilities. Deep Silver will be publishing this game on the 1st of September 2020. Along with the support in the way of competitive multiplayer with ladders, ranked matches and leagues. If WARCRAFT III Reforged is not enough for your old school RTS itch, then there are 2 new games with similar gameplay mechanics coming out in 2020 for you. A Year of Rain and DwarfHeim. DwarfHeim is an RTS and city building game with up to 4 players where you must work together as a team to build, gather resources and defend your ancient dwarven home from vicious trolls and rivaling clans. The original twist in this game is the underworld, where you have to mine for the rarest materials to create more powerful units and buildings. In this game, you build your settlement from a single building to a thriving stronghold by gathering resources, increasing your population, and keeping your dwarven brothers happy by brewing potent ales. The developer and publisher Pineleaf Studios promises a ranked matchmaking, single-player campaign, sandbox mode, and co-op multiplayer. The second game I mentioned, A Year of Rain, developed and published by Daedalic Entertainment, is already in early access on Steam. In it, you get to choose one of 3 rival factions and get immersed in a gameplay mixture of base building, resource gathering, unit recruitment, and battling against or alongside other players in the campaign or skirmish modes. In this game world, each faction features 3 powerful heroes to spearhead your armies. A Year of Rain offers competitive multiplayer with the classic skirmish mode designed for 2 vs 2 battles. Additionally, it includes replays, statistics, and observer mode. The co-op campaign is also designed with a team of 2 players in mind, but you can use the AI partner instead of another player and have a certain level of control over the AI. The game's art is amazing and very reminiscent of Warcraft and Starcraft. At the end of this list, let's go back to our own planet with the Cold War game, developed and published by Room 301. Who have marketed this title as a real-time tactical strategy game that simulates interaction of various types of troops and units in the battlefield of the divided Germany of 1970s. The Cold War goes hot, as in this alternate history, the USSR and the USA battle it out for world supremacy. The game features more than 50 highly detailed 3D models of military machinery and equipment of the era, including an advanced system for registering equipment damage instead of using health bars. This system works by taking into account armor thickness, type of ammunition used, damage to important parts or crew. It even goes one step further and calculates type and inclination of armor sheets, caliber of ammunition, the firing distance and the angle of impact. All of this promises a very detailed combat system that sounds incredibly interesting and sets the game apart from the others similar to it. And that is the end of this list of 13 new RTS games in 2020. I would like to thank you for watching and invite you to subscribe so you do not miss the next video about the new 4X turn-based and grand strategy games, as well as simulation management and squad combat turn-based strategy games coming out in 2020. Until then, I wish you all happy gaming!